Hello students, in today's lecture we will discuss the diversity in the living world and the binomial nomenclature. So first point is the diversity in living world. Diversity means difference. That means in all living organisms there is a difference, that they are not same in habitat, they are different from each other by their structure, function. That is called as the diversity. In Marathi we call it as a विविधता, वेगळेपण. जे काही लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतात आपल्या आजूबाजूला ते एकमेकांपासून आपल्याला वेगळे पाहायला मिळतात. सो वी फाइंड डिफरंट टाइप्स ऑफ लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझम अराउंड अस अँड विच इन्क्लूड्स द डिफरंट टाइप्स ऑफ द मायक्रोब्स. There are some fungi or the plants and the animals. All we call as the all we call as the organisms which are present around us. All these organisms are very important to maintain the life on the earth or to sustain the life on the earth, because these organisms are interact with each other. For example is the human being is an example from the animal. This human being depends on the plants or depends on the other animals for their food requirement. Thus this human being get connected to these plants or get connected to these animals, and thus it maintain the life of that particular animals or the plants on this earth. So these all organisms are essential because they interact with each other, and these organisms which are present around us we call it as a species. Till now there are about 1.7 to 1.8 million species are identified and described, and all these species which are identified and described, that are nearly about 1.7 to 1.8 million, are all together called as the biodiversity. It is called as the biodiversity. So all these organisms which are present around us, they are different from each other, and that we call as a biodiversity. These organisms or these species which are present around us, we know them by their local names. For example, in Maharashtra, in Marathi, we call some plants, some animals in our regional language, in Marathi language. For example, gulab, chameli, jai, or in vegetables, gawar, bhendi, wangi, or in animals we call as a hatti or cheetah. All these names are called as the local names. These are in our Marathi language. These local names are also called as the vernacular names. These local names are also called as the vernacular names, and these vernacular names are varies from place to place, because in India it is a big country, and in this country there are number of states are there. Number of states have their own regional language, and in each state there is the regional language, and those people know their surrounding or their living organism which are present to their surrounding by their local names. म्हणजे प्रत्येक आपल्याला राज्यामध्ये तिथल्या लोकल लँग्वेजमध्ये तिथले आजूबाजूचे प्लांट किंवा ॲनिमलची नावं त्या लोकांना तिथं माहीत असलेली पाहायला मिळतात. एक एक्झाम्पल आपण या ठिकाणी सांगू शकतो, ते म्हणजे कॅलोट्रॉपिस. आता कॅलोट्रॉपिस काय एक्सप्लेन करतात आपल्याला, हाऊ दी व्हर्नाक्युलर नेम्स or which we call as a local names varies from place to place in a same country, or how these vernacular names can carry the confusion in that name. And thus here we will take one example, and that example is of the Calotropis. Calotropis is the scientific name or the biological name of that plant. In Marathi, this Calotropis is called as रुई. रुई म्हणजे मी तुम्हाला सांगू शकते इथं की आपल्या इकडं शनिवारी मारुतीला जे पानांचा हार घातला जातो प्लांटचा, ते रुईचं प्लांट असते. बरोबर आहे. इट हॅज अ मिल्की व्हाईट सिक्रेशन. पान तोडलं आपण तर आपल्याला तिथून एक पांढरा शुभ्र असा व्हाईट स्टिकी सबस्टन्स आलेला पाहायला मिळतो. त्या प्लांटला म्हणायचं रुई. इन हरियाणा दिस सेम कॅलाट्रॉपिस प्लांट इज नोन बाय द नेम ॲक, while in some other state this calotropis is called as a madar. So these are the local or vernacular name of this calotropis. In some state in Maharashtra it is called as rui in Marathi language, while in some state like Haryana it is called as ak, while in some other state it is called as madar. And all these local names are given to this calotropis, and due to which there is a confusion because we cannot know the meaning of ak, because Haryana people call it as ak and we don't know the language of that Haryana state. So these all the local names are cannot understand by every people of the world. It creates the confusion, and that's why there should be the standardized naming in these organisms, because it avoid the local confusion. त्यामुळं एकच स्टँडर्ड नाव प्रत्येक लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझमला दिलं गेलं पाहिजे की ज्याच्यामुळं आपल्याला ते एकच स्टँडर्ड नाव हे सगळे जगातील लोक त्या प्लांटचं किंवा त्या ॲनिमलला त्याच नावानं ओळखू शकतील, आणि जे लोकल कन्फ्युजन होते रिजनल लँग्वेजचं ते आपल्याला इथं काय करता येईल, ॲवॉइड करता येईल. अँड दॅट स्टँडर्डाइज नेम शुड बी अंडरस्टँड बाय द एव्हरी पीपल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. नाऊ there are some authorities which gives the name to that particular organisms, and these authorities are generally of two types. That is, one is called as ICBN. Full form is of this ICBN is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. And another one is ICZN, that means International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Botanical means plant and zoological means animal. The authority which gives the name to the plants is called as ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, and the authorities which gives the name to the animal is called ICZN, that means International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. And these authorities gives the name to particular plants and this animal. But keep in mind there are two important terms. One is called as the identification, and another one is called as the nomenclature. That means for giving the name to any organism, before giving the name to any organism, it should be described or identified. We'll see the definition of it. Identification means the description of an organism. Identification means the description of an organism, while the nomenclature means the giving name to an organism. Giving name to an organism. That is mean the every living organism first should be identified. And what is mean by identification? Identification means the correct description of that organism. That organism first should be described, and then only we have to give the name to that organism, and that is called as the nomenclature. For example, if we have to give the name to the human being, before giving the name to that human being, we should describe that human being. That means it is an animal because it belongs to the class mammal, so it comes under the animal. This human being has hair all over the body, it has the mammary gland, it has the erect posture, and so on. There are a number of characteristics we can describe to this human being. So every living organism should be first described, that is called as the identification of that living organism, and then a particular name is given to that organism, that is called as the nomenclature of this organism. So identification always come first and then come the nomenclature. So in this diversity in living world, we have seen that the different kinds of living organisms which are present around us are very essential to maintain or to sustain the life on the earth, because they always interact with each other. We have seen this by giving the example of the human being, how it depends on the plant and animal for its food requirement. Then the living organisms which are present around us, they are different, like microbes, plants, animals, all these organisms we call it as a species. And so till now there are about 1.7 to 1.8 million species are known, and all these species are together called as the biodiversity. Then some living organisms which are present around us, we know them by their local names, and these local names are also called as the vernacular names. These local names or these vernacular names are always in the regional language. So these local names or vernacular names are variable from place to place within the same country. For example, we are given that the Calotropis is the name of that plant, but this Calotropis has different local or the regional or the vernacular names, that like in Marathi we call it as a Rui, in Haryana we call it as a Ak, while in some other state it is called as a Madar. So all these local names create the confusion, and to avoid this confusion there should be the standard name given to that plant or that animal or that microbes, and that standard name is given by some authorities, and two authorities we have seen. One is of the ICBN and another is for the ICZN. ICBN gives name to the plant and ICZN gives name to the animal. And after that we have seen that before giving the name to a particular living organism, it should be identified, because the description of that organism is called as identification, and giving name to that organism is called as nomenclature. So identification is the first step and the nomenclature is the second step. Now we'll see how the standard name are given to the living organism, and that we are going to discuss under the title binomial nomenclature. So next point is the binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature means the giving the names to living organisms, and that name has the two words. That means what? All biologists all over the world accepted some standard principles for giving the name to a particular living organism, and according to that principle, every living organism which was present on the earth should have the name, and that name has two important components. So binomial nomenclature means here the name is given to every organism, and the name of that organism should have the two components. One component is called as the generic component, and the other component is called as species epithet, or it is called as a species, or in other word we call it as a name of that living organism should have the two components. One component is called as a genus component and other component is called as species component. That means the binomial nomenclature is the system of providing a name. It is a system of providing a name which consists of components. That name which is given to the living organism should have the two component, and one component is the genus component and other component is called as the species component, which we call as a binomial nomenclature, because bi means two components should be there, genus and the species. This binomial nomenclature system was first given by scientist Carolus Linnaeus. It is the name of scientist who given this nomenclature system, and according to the Carolus Linnaeus, the name of that living organism has two components. That's why it is called as the binomial nomenclature. Now we will discuss some rules of this nomenclature which has accepted all over the world, and according to them the names are given to these living organisms. Now we'll see which are these rules. The rules of binomial nomenclatures are, the first rule is that the name of the living word should has two components. One component is called as genus component and other component is called as species component. So first thing is that the name of organism should have two words. Name of the organism should have the two words. First word indicate the name of genus and the second word indicates the name of the species. For example, see, the name of the mango plant is Mangifera indica. In this, the first word denotes the name of the genus, while the second word denotes the name of species. This is the first rule of this nomenclature. Second rule is that the name of the genus should be capital. That means the first letter of the genus name is in capital letter, while the first letter of the species name is in a small letter. So second rule is that genus name or first letter of the genus name should be in capital letter, while this first letter of the species name should be in a small letter. And here you can see that in Mangifera, which is the name of the genus, the first letter M is in capital form, while indica is the name of species. Here the first letter I is in a small form. So this is the second rule. Then the third rule is that both the genus and species name, when they are handwritten, they should be underlined, or when they get printed, it should be printed in italic form. So when this genus and species name are handwritten, they should be underlined, or when they get printed, they should be printed in italics. Italic form मध्ये ते प्रिंट झाले पाहिजे. This is the third rule. Then the fourth rule is that these genus and species name are originally from the Latin language but should be written in the italic form. So genus and species are from Latin language, but they should be written in italic form. Even though they are from the Latin language, they should be written in the italic form. This is the fourth rule. And the last and the fifth rule of this binomial nomenclature is that the author who described that species, the name of that author should come at the last of this name that is mean the after the name of species. For example, here Mangifera. I will write here Mangifera indica Linnaeus. LINN, it is an abbreviated form of the Linnaeus, who for describe the species. So the name of the Linnaeus come at last, and how it is written, Mangifera indica Linn, and this Linnaeus is the author who came at the last. So all these, the 5 are the rules of this binomial nomenclature. So there is always asked the question for theory point of view, that is, what is the binomial nomenclature, and explain the rules of it. Binomial nomenclatures are the system which provide the 2 names for each living organism, that we call as a binomial nomenclature, and the rules are given here. First rule, that the name of organism should have 2 words. First word is the indicate the genus name, and the second word indicate the species. Mangifera is the genus name, indica is the species name. Second rule is that genus name should be in the capital form, first letter should be in the capital form, while the species first letter should be in the small form. Then third rule is that when the genus and species are handwritten, they should be underlined, or when they get printed, they should be printed in the italic form. Then fourth rule is that genus and species names are originally from the Latin language, but they are written in the italic form. And the last rule is that the author who described that species, the name of that author should come in the abbreviated form at the last of the name, and it is written as a Mangifera indica Linn, and that Linn nothing but the abbreviated form of the Linnaeus. Okay, thank you.